Just a reminder to vote in this week's Locals poll, where you decide what deck I take to Locals every single week. Without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and for today we have the deck profile for the deck we took to Locals this past week, being Nekroz. We ended up not doing too well. We had 0 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. I was really hoping it would do a lot better, because it seemed to actually do a lot better when I was testing it online. But I guess we'll just have to make some edits to it. So if anyone that also plays Nekroz has any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm also going to have a comment down below for some things I might put in, but I'm not sure what to take out. So yeah, just let me know. But here's a look to what it looks like on paper. Then we'll get to the card by card. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about, I am running 1 Decisive Armor, and I'm basically just running this one for its in-hand effect. All of the Nekroz ritual monsters, they have an effect on field, and then an effect in the hand. So I run Decisive Armor basically just for his in-hand effect, whereas a quick effect, I can discard it to target a Nekroz I control, and it gains 1,000 attack and defense for the rest of the turn. So this way, if someone tries to run into one of my Nekroz monsters to destroy it, I can just pump it up, do a little damage on their turn, and also protect my monster from being destroyed by battle. Next, I'm running 2 copies of Nekroz of Trishula. So this one's in hand effect. As a quick effect, I can discard it to negate an activated effect that targets a Nekroz I control. And then when it's ritual summoned, I can banish 1 card each from my opponent's hand, field, and grave. So the removal is really nice, and then the targeting protection is pretty good. I'm also running 1 copy of Nekroz of Gungnir. This is basically along the same logic as the Decisive Armor, where I'm basically only running this for the in-hand effect, because I can discard it to target a Nekroz I control, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. So it's just nice to protect. Next, 3 copies of Nekroz of Brionac. So this is one of your main searchers. You can discard it to search for any Nekroz monster. That's basically the only thing we use it for. We don't actually ritual summon it, because its on-field effect is not a quick effect or anything. So I'd rather keep it for the searching. I'm going to talk about the next 2 together. So we're running 1 copy of Nekroz of Catastor and 3 copies of Nekroz of Unicorn. So getting these 2 out in the same turn is the anti-extra deck combo I alluded to in the Locals poll, which you should totally go vote in, by the way. But so basically, there's a way that you can ritual summon both of these simultaneously with Nekroz Kaleidoscope by sending a level 9 monster. So that way, Unicorn negates the effects of all extra deck monsters, and then Catastor will destroy them when a Nekroz monster battles an extra deck monster. So just continuous effect negates and destroys. That's not once per turn, so yeah. It's pretty nice against, extra deck strategies. Also running 2 copies of Nekroz of Colossalus, basically for his hand effect, we just discard it to search a ritual spell. Enough said. Also running 3 Shuret Strategist of the Nekroz, because he can fulfill the entire tribute requirement for any Nekroz, and then when he's tributed, you can search for a warrior Nekroz monster, so that way we can search for something like Brionac to get any other monster we want. Or if we want another ritual spell, we can go for Colossalus. So that's going to be it for the actual Nekroz monsters. Now we're going to go into some of the more generic monsters. So we're running 3 Manju of the 10,000 Hands. It's a solid normal summon. We can get a ritual spell or a ritual monster, just depending on what we need. and it's also level 4, so that's decent for tree beating. Next, going to the incantation package, I'm running 2 Talus Mandra and 1 Bookstone for the high level incantations. So with this one, you reveal a monster. This one, you reveal a ritual spell. And then if they're special summoned from the deck by the effect of another incantation, this one adds a ritual monster, and this one adds a ritual spell back from your graveyard. This one adds from deck to hand. So it's just a way to kind of get your resources either quicker or back from the graveyard. Also running 2 Candle and then 2 Pensaplume. So with Candle, if it's summoned from the deck, you can add a ritual spell. If Pensaplume is special summoned from the deck, you get a ritual monster back from your grave to your hand. So this is just a way, like I said before, to either A, search for more resources out of the deck, or B, get your resources back from the graveyard. So that's going to be it for the monsters. Next we're going to go to the spells. So first we're going to start off with 1 Reinforcement of the Army. So this lets us search either for our copies of Shuret, because he's a warrior, or we can also go for something like Colossalus if we need to, or also Unicorn is a spellcaster, never mind. I was about to say, I was like, why didn't I search Unicorn off of Rhoda last night? But then I was like, oh wait, it's a spellcaster, that's why. So yeah, this lets you get to Colossalus or Shuret, so that's really nice. Also running 3 Preparation of Rites, so this allows us to add a level 7 or lower ritual monster from our deck to our hand, and then we can also recur a ritual spell from the graveyard. I'm thinking about maybe cutting this for something else. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'll have to play around with it. But out of all of our spell cards that we might cut, this would probably be the one. But I don't know. If you have any suggestions, and like I said, I'm going to have a comment below for some theory crafting, so if you have any suggestions, please, by all means, let me know. Because I'm disappointed in how the deck performed last night. I'm also running 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. So basically because we want to go first to establish the Unicorn Catastor combo turn 1. So we use this to try to search for whatever we need. So I feel like this should probably stay. But at the same time, I don't want to run Extravagance because I don't want to banish some of the ones that I don't want to banish. Mainly in relation to this card here, which is 3 copies of Nekroz Kaleidoscope. So with all of the Nekroz ritual spells, you can use them to ritual summon any Nekroz, and you have to send monsters whose combined levels exactly equal the level of the monsters you ritual summon. With Kaleidoscope, you can tribute from hand or field, or you can also send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Now, the thing that's unique about Kaleidoscope, aside from the whole extra deck thing, is that you can also use this to ritual summon any number of Nekroz ritual monsters. So basically, I try to get this turn 1 as quick as possible, assuming I don't open it, and I will send a level 9 monster from my extra deck in order to simultaneously summon Catastor and Unicorn. And in case you're wondering, the monster I send, just because it ties into the lore, I send Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, so that's fun. So yeah, you can use that to get 2 ritual monsters at once. So that's how we get the whole anti-extra deck combo. I'm also running 2 Nekroz Mirror. So basically, this one allows you to banish Nekroz monsters from your graveyard in order to ritual summon if you need to, aside from the whole hand and field. And then I'm also running 2 Nekroz Cycle. So this one, you have to tribute monster from your hand or field. However, you can ritual summon a monster that's in your hand or in your graveyard. So this one lets you get stuff back from the grave. And then all 3 ritual spells have this last effect, where if you control no monsters, you can banish this card and another Nekroz to search for a Nekroz spell. So all 3 ritual spells have that. So next we're going to go on to the extra deck, and this is going to be pretty quick. So we're running 3 Elderly Intis, just, for a free pop. Running 3 Garua, because if we send it for like a Brionac or 2 Colossalus or something, then we can draw a card. 3 Herald of the Arclight, just because it gets you a search. 2 copies of Prima Madonna. This lets you get a banished card back into your deck. 1 Psy-Frame Lord Omega, just so that way we can get like 2 Unicors or a Catastor plus a Colossalus if we need to. And then finally, and I alluded to this earlier just because they tie into the lore behind the Nekroz, we're running 1 each of the 3 Ice Barrier Dragons. We typically send Trishula in order to do Unicor plus Catastor. The other 2, I usually just go ahead and banish them for prosperity, but they're there if we ever need them. So yeah, that's basically it for the deck profile. So I think one of the things I'm going to try to change is adding a way to dump more cards from the extra deck to the grave. So I'm thinking, like, I think I definitely want to do Diviner of the Herald as a second, a second normal summon option. So I think I may end up cutting the incantations for that, just because there were some times when, like, say, I had a Talismandra in hand, but no ritual monster in hand, so it was useless. Or, like, if I had a Candle and no ritual spell, it was useless. So I might cut the incantation for that, maybe, for, like, a Diviner of the Herald. Because, like, normal summon, send, Herald, get a search. So, and then if it's tributed, we can also just summon out the Manju, since it's a fairy as well. It won't get the effect, but we can at least just put in defense position for a wall. So there's that at least. But yeah. I may also consider the idea of... Oh, actually, no, never mind. That wouldn't work. I was going to say maybe Cross Sheep. So that way we could draw cards after ritual summoning, but prosperity prevents us from drawing cards, so I don't think that would really work. But yeah, so that's going to be it. I'm going to have I'm going to have a comment in the comment section where it's just kind of like, hey, what do you guys think about adding these in or taking these out? So I'm going to have that in there. So please feel free to contribute, because obviously I didn't do as good of a job at building this deck as I thought I did, unfortunately. So yeah, just like, subscribe, on the Logos poll, all that good stuff. Help me out in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.